a lot of fun. This is your friend Roland Williams is on the phone. We're gonna talk more. We're gonna get in depth now into this bullying situation, this incognito story.
Yes,
Roland, you're on the air.
Roland, you there, bud?
What? I am here,
hey.
guys. What's up?
Good to hear you.
Hi.
Hey.
Can you hear?
Talking bullying.
Yeah.
Don't bully me. Don't bully me.
I would never think of it. Did you see this? Well, you know the situation. I just was handed some papers that said the Dolphins coaches now they had asked Richie Incognito to toughen Martin up so that possibly the voicemail that has been transcribed that we've read all about is on orders from the coaching staff. Had you heard that?
That's crazy. That's a crazy twist.
Yeah, exactly.
The plot thickens.
I don't know what I think. You know, we had a guest in here, Charlie Murphy, who was pretty adamant that the NFL is now getting completely soft with a player who says his feelings were hurt. And, you know, there's a part of me that says, you know, he's right. You know, I don't know what to think here. What do you feel, Roland?
Well, let's talk about two sides of the world. First off, the whole bullying thing in general is dead wrong. Now, what I heard actually, ironically, about this whole situation is that Incognito's father has said in interviews that Richie was actually bullied as a child for being overweight. So, clearly, bullying
begets bullying.
It begets more bullying. It affects your life. So first off, let's just talk about Richie. I play with Richie Incognito, not the good Richie, John Richie. I played with this Richie.
And what was he like?
And he was a functional. He's a functional racist, basically.
Wow. And everyone knew this.
Well, I think that Richie, we knew that there's guys in every locker room, black, white, or whatever, that are sort of not necessarily outwardly racist towards everyone else, but certainly would prefer to spend time with people who look and act like them. So most of the time, when you have those guys,
a lot of times that tends to be offensive linemen. I mean, if we're going to make generalizations, a lot of times, more often than not, we're talking about the big, you know, white offensive lineman, right?
Right.
That happens. Yes.
And so sometimes that happens, you know what I mean? Like we know sometimes just generally, you know, white and black players, or sometimes there's some issues, but it goes both ways. There's some guys who are black players who just might not want to hang out with any of the white guys just because they're white. You know what I mean? It's like it's stupid.
Yeah.
But the big picture is that you are allowed in this country to have your own opinions about someone else. You're allowed to dislike somebody because of the color of their skin. You can do that. This is allowed in America. It's not preferred, but you're certainly allowed. You have that right. But where it goes too far is when you start projecting your opinion and your philosophies on life onto somebody else. That's not right.
Right.
And for this guy, for the poor young player who got bullied, he went to Stanford. We know what Stanford is. It's more of an academic kind of environment. It's not Florida State. It's not one of the schools that's gone through Florida with all the issues off the field. He went to Stanford. Both his parents are lawyers. Harvard.
Yeah.
Clearly, he was playing the game because he loved the game. He appreciated the game. Those who believe that football has to be a barbaric and some Neanderthal sport, they're missing the artistry of football. Football isn't just for those guys, for douchebags who want to be violent. Football is a game of...
But it helps. It helps if you are a violent individual. Wouldn't you agree? There are the people like Jonathan Martin who are most likely thoughtful, peaceful individuals are much rarer in the sport than the guys that are intrinsically violent.
I would say that that's true for guys on the line of scrimmage. I mean, when we go through our career, we can talk about some guys that were just phenomenally nice human beings and nice guys that also were great football players. I think of the captain, Tim Brown.
Right.
What an awesome human being.
Right.
But
Yeah.
on the field, he will cut your head off.
Yeah.
You know.
Sure.
So I go down the laundry list. Randy Jordan. I mean, come on, we know some great guys.
Yeah.
But it's like, but on the field, they would cut your head off. And
yeah, but that's the thing. On the field, they would cut your head off, and as a teammate, you respected that because they were aggressive. They were the aggressor on the field. The issue here is, this bullying ties into Jonathan Martin not only being a rookie just last year, but being a starter who was not necessarily doing the job that Richie Incognito thought he should be doing on that offensive line. He was not. That whole offensive line was not playing as the aggressor.
Have we had? How many first-round draft pick busts have we? The guy wasn't even a first-round pick.
Right.
I mean, how many poor players are there in the National Football League? I mean, how many guys have we seen that were terrible offensive linemen? I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Because you can't play the game well, it doesn't give me any right to disrespect you as a person.
But people do. That's the thing. Like, you don't respect. And I am guilty of this. I did not respect a guy as much if he didn't put that effort in, if I didn't see the results on the field. I mean, I don't like the fact that I look back on it now and I know that about myself. But if I had to choose a teammate, it would be a guy who was going to go all out and be the dominant player on the field. And I liked him more off the field as a result, right? Didn't you feel the same way?
I mean, don't you people happen to like stars and great players better than guys they don't know. I mean, they just seem like nicer guys. I mean, Michael Jordan could have went for president of the U.S. and probably got a majority of votes when it was heyday. I mean, that is the human condition. But I'm just saying that as a human, the human condition outside of sports is that no one has the right to bully anybody, period.
Right.
I think the thing is, are we getting confused here between bullying and racism, though? It was racism that was going on here, not just bullying. I mean, the Broad Street Bullies, Philadelphia Flyers, that's celebrated. Bullying, we like bullies when it's about physical violence in sports. That's acceptable. But when it's the racism, that's, I think, what the real problem is here.
Yeah, maybe it seems as though, the fact that the Miami Dolphins said he will never play here again, I think if he wouldn't have used the language maybe in the message that we caught wind of, do you think that they would say there's no way he's coming back, Roland?
I think that it's the venom and the hurtful nature of whatever he said. I think that just the omission of one word from his rant would not have made much of a difference to me. He's being an idiot. And it's not only just the things that we saw. This is what that smart Stanford kid was smart enough to document. Yeah. Let's talk about all the other shenanigans that happened. All the other shenanigans that's coming out with this guy bullying administrators and bullying other teammates and bullying, the people at the lunchroom. I mean, Richie has a history of being a stark lunatic, and sometimes you guys know how when there's a crazy person in the room or something, you don't know what's crazy to some people. Sometimes a crazy person makes you feel uncomfortable, man. You're like, this is crazy.
Why in the world? Here's what confuses me then. I mean, we're talking about a guy that people knew was nuts. You say you knew where he stood. Why was he on the captain's council? The 6-man captain's council in Miami, he was a member of that.
Okay, well, let's get back to what you just said, Richie. People respect folks who ball. And no matter what I might have assumed or I might have known, I like playing with Richie Incognito on my team on the field of battle, which it is, because I don't really care what you do in the locker room. We don't really all interact like that. But on the field of battle, you want gladiators, and the dude is a gladiator, and that is the harsh reality of the National Football League. There's a lot of dirty, nasty things happening to people, as we know. That's going on within that pit and that line of scrimmage that people don't want to talk about at dinner tables sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like when you go down, when you look at the list of things that Incognito is accused of doing to Jonathan Martin, paying for the party that Martin wasn't invited to, check that off my list. Being hazed, being, spoken to in a condescending, mean way, check that off the list. It was, I think we all went through that to a certain degree. But in this situation, this guy, Richie Incognito, was a bad person to begin with. So he took it a little farther. And the problem was you have a new coaching staff coming in who, with Joe Philbin and company, who don't necessarily know the guys the way that they would with some more experience with that group of men. So they come in and they look at the performance on the field and assume that carries over to personality and respect and humanity, when in fact in this situation it did not. That's the only thing I can assume. But then at the same time, you hear that guys are defending Richie Incognito now, which blows my mind.
I just can't help but laugh every time I hear the name Incognito. I mean, what kind of name is that, Incognito?
Yeah.
What is that? What's the origination of that, Incognito? This guy is not incognito at all.
No,
he's not living up to his name in the slightest. Look at this guy.
Anymore.
Where is that from?
Never was.
I've never even heard that name before.
No, me neither.
It's like a fake name.
Yeah.
Incognito? Come on, this is ridiculous. It's a joke.
Yeah.
This guy can't be named Incognito. He's the least incognito guy around.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, and it goes way back. I mean,
Roland, do you know the answer to this? Where the heck does that name come from, Roland? Incognito?
I don't know.
What the heck is going on here, man? This guy isn't incognito. There's nothing incognito about this guy at all.
It's an opposite nickname.
Yeah.
It's like the bald guy named Curly, or the guy with his,
Is this some sort of a joke?
a hook hand. You call him Lefty, or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got to get to the bottom of this, Roland.
All right, the real question is that in this National Football League, in this day and age, is he ever going to play in the league again?
Right. And
I say they send him to the CFL.
Eternal damnation in the CFL.
Richie, is the guy going to play again, Richie?
Do I? You're asking me. No, I don't think he is. I think because this is being racially focused, and
maybe him and Paula Dean can go start a football team.
Exactly.
Him and Paula Dean can start like a ping pong club or something.
Right, and Riley Cooper too.
Yeah.
Right, Riley Cooper. What do you think, Roland? Do you think he'll play again? I mean, can we hear more about you playing with him? I mean, was there any incidents that you can remember?
There was no incidences. I mean, we played with the St. Louis Rams. It's the Midwest, so there's always, there's just a different environment. And he was like I said, a good humored, fun, cool guy. And apparently there were no linemen from to bully around or anything, or else maybe he would have got those antics. But I think that people mentioned a couple facts of, hey, he's been in Miami for 3 years. All the other rookies, Pouncey and the other guys who came in, there's never been a problem. And that's because, as you know, John, if somebody tried to bully you your rookie year, you would have punched him in the face, tried to fight him every day until things got handled.
And Jonathan Martin was not the type to fight back. Right.
Right. Which he technically doesn't have to. He doesn't have to. I don't care what anybody says, the macho men of the world. The truth is that if that was my son, well, I'd have told my son a couple things a little bit different. But
yeah.
If my son chose not to fight, should he have to fight in a workplace?
Are you proud of him if he doesn't fight? Because I'm not. I'm just saying it like it is. I mean, I'm not.
I would have personally wanted him to punch that guy in the face, and he could have told. He could have told and punched him in the mouth.
Yeah, sure.
Shattered his jaw.
I would prefer that he keep it under wraps, but fight back and just make sure that the guy never picks on him again, because you make it unworth his while. And that's the bottom line. That's what people expect in the NFL, and that's why guys are coming to the defense of Richie Incognito, I think. The fact is, this guy got kicked out of Nebraska and then went to Oregon and got kicked out of there too. And he's been trouble all along. I mean, in games, guys get suspended for taking their helmets off and trying to hit this guy. Or guys get suspended or fined for just trying to punch this guy out in the middle of games. So it seems like all he does is talk. And he probably says some incendiary things on the regular. So now we're finding out exactly how incendiary, and just not a likable guy. It's hard for me to, I don't know. I am so conflicted on this whole thing. But I just don't like him at all.
Ricky Williams weighed in on the whole situation and put blame both on Martin and Incognito. He said that basically Martin didn't need to blame Incognito because he wanted to take a break because of his terrible play. He needed,
he's got a point.
A scapegoat, or the one to bring somebody else down.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He said it takes some awareness and planning to save and record those.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like, and then people don't know that for Martin to do that is fighting.
Yeah.
For you to take some planning to actually save and record those messages, you know what I mean? Get the text messages, the voicemail. He is fighting Incognito, but he's doing it in his own way.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, here's a great example of a kid getting bullied and fighting back in his own way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
in the way that we were all taught, not to,
Exactly.
In a kind of a secretive, clandestine way, rather than confronting something head on, which is what we're told to do. Lead with your face.
It's so funny because I am, of course, as you know me, I would have 100% fought every single time. But that's not. Is that the greater good? Is all I'm saying.
Right.
John.
No.
We grow now. Is it the greater good just because we didn't know about concussions? We didn't think it was cool to get an ice cold drink of water during practice that made you soft.
Yeah, exactly.
Too much water.
Well, yeah. Is this signaling a change? I mean, is this saying, guys now they stay down on the field when they get their bell rung? We would have never dreamt of letting someone see us injured or in any way diminished. So
is that right? Exactly. So are we so smart in our macho appetite? I mean, come on.
Right.
Is that really what we're supposed to have been doing in our lives, or are we now seeing these young kids use their brain, live longer, use their brain, keep their money, not spend it up, and grow up and live and be prosperous and play forever with no training camp and no contact barely?
Yeah. Yeah, you're right, man. Makes me a little jealous and feel a little dumb. Thank you for putting it that way, though. You make a great point, Roland. As always, you are a man of many words that are very instructive and important. So thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you for calling, Roland.
We love you.
Thank you, Roland.
Well, I do. Tom, do you love Roland?
Absolutely.
Too?
I love you, Roland.
Yes.
I love you.
I love you, too.
Love you, man. Thank you.
Okay, well, we're going to take a break. We'll be back, and we're going to take a bunch of calls.
The Artie Lange Show, weeknights on Audience, only on DirecTV.